Oh, can you guys hear me? I've not done a live stream with this channel before. Hello, nerds. Whoa, all these people here. I don't have any content. I just hit this go live button to play around with it because I hadn't done it before. And now all these people are here, which is really cool. Wow. How about I give you guys a little bit of I'm happy to talk. I just interviewed Steve Marchand. He's this this New Hampshire dude that works on the Yang team and one of the early endorsers. So we had a really good conversation, and he shared a lot of cool stuff about why he decided to endorse Yang. And so I need to edit that later this week and then publish it. Ah, yes. Ethan Curl says, oh, cool. I love Steve. Yeah. Oh, my kids are running around in the background if you hear any screaming. So let's see. I could kind of catch up on some news if you guys want to hear some news. Obviously, we could talk about Gillibrand's out. I gotta tell you, I'm not super disappointed. I was not a huge Gillibrand fan. Full disclosure, I was a fan of Al Franken, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like his resignation was a little bit accelerated, and I feel like the call for his resignation, I don't know. I don't know if it was entirely sort of without self-interest when Gillibrand asked for his demanded his resignation. But anyway, she's now no longer in the race. I was asking on Twitter if people thought, like, who they thought she would endorse. And my guess, I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about the field. But what the hell? I think she's going to do the politically expedient move, which is wait for the nominee to reveal themselves and then try and get on that train. I don't get the sense that she's, really going to stick her neck out. Oh, you guys have questions here. Okay. How does Sweden look from the outside? Well, I live in Switzerland, so different than Sweden, but right continent, and it's beautiful. I live kind of in a farmland area with a lot of rolling hills. It's like The Sound of Music. My dog Daisy loves it here. It's going to be very difficult for her to come back to the States and live in a suburban environment, but we won't tell her that, right, Dede? You think we're going to stay in Switzerland forever and you can just run around in the hills? Yeah, so unfortunately, you will be introduced to a different environment, but we will make sure we get her some dog park time. Let's see what else people are saying. How long? So Arian Saini is saying, how long were you a Republican? A long time. A long time. I grew up the son of immigrants from Hong Kong, and my parents were very anti-mainland China. My family was on the capitalist side of the Civil War, and they lost. And so when the communists took over China, they kind of really did a number on my family. And so when they came to the U.S. and I was born, they voted for Reagan, and he was like their hero, and he was, a great president in many ways. So yeah, I was a Republican since I was a kid, and I switched over in 2007 to support Obama in the primary. And I supported Obama when he was like number 4, and everybody said he was too young and he was a nobody, and he gives a good speech, but he needs to wait his turn. And I loved his quote about the fierce urgency of now, which I think is a MLK quote. And I kind of feel like we're in a moment where we have, if any, maybe even more fierce urgency of now than in 2008. Anyway, let's see other questions. Peter Hartman loves live shows. Well, this is interesting. I don't have any charts or anything. So it's very unusual that we're just shooting the breeze, but that's cool. If you guys want to hang out, Crystal Zoll, do you speak Swiss German? 9. Ich spreche ein bisschen Hochdeutsch. Nur ein bisschen. I don't speak Swiss German. I only speak a little bit of High German. Can you donate to Yang if you don't live here? Yeah, you can donate to Yang if you are an American citizen. So I was born in New Jersey, got the blue passport. I pay U.S. income taxes, even though I don't live in the U.S. presently. So that's awesome. And I will definitely be voting. So that's that. Ethan Curl says, "Sweet face, what a cute dog." She is. She is the most precious dog. Oh, here. She is not worried about a thing. She probably is like, maybe this is what Biden looks like when he's chilling out, because he's just like, I'm number 1. So yeah, Daisy's just chilling. Question, what do you think about the idea of diversifying the sources of the freedom dividend with crypto? Neutral Neuron. I don't know, man. I think the freedom dividend is pretty out there for mainstream Americans. If we also say we're gonna pay you in crypto, it might be too much. Maybe someday though, it'd be kind of neat. What do you think about Hong Kong standing up against China right now? Ooh, you know what's really interesting on the channel? I notice a lot of comments showing up on the Nerds for Yang channel, very critical of Andrew Yang's foreign policy answer during our big interview. And I'm not sure the people writing those comments are 100% uncoordinated, which is kind of weird. I mean, we read in the paper about people influencing or organizations influencing social media, but I don't know. I've been reading a lot of these comments. I'm like, Now, it could be people for whom English isn't their first language, but they are American citizens. Or I don't know. I kind of got a feeling like maybe there's efforts afoot to influence. But to answer your question, Shauna Owens, my parents lived in Hong Kong before they came to the US because they were afraid of mainland China influencing the very kind of pretty modern lifestyle that they had when they lived in Hong Kong. I will say, in fairness, when they lived in Hong Kong, it was a colony of England, and there was like no democracy. And then when England had to give it back to China because there was a treaty that they could get it for 100 years after the Opium Wars, which ironically is nuts. Like, we're dealing with opioids in the US, and the reason why England had ownership of Hong Kong for 100 years was because they insisted on selling opium to the Chinese when the Chinese said, no, we don't want it. Any rate, so to answer your question, I'm very pro democracy. So I'm supportive of the demonstrators. I will say it's not clear that they've made very specific demands, or at least the press isn't really reporting that. So I'm not sure how this ends, other than like if they keep escalating, it could end in violence, which is never a good thing. So anyway, that's my China, Hong Kong point of view. Tenchik Chrono, I'm a child of the 80s, so was a big Reagan fan. Yeah, you know what? Well, you know, one thing about Reagan is like if you watch his speeches, or if you read like some of his speeches about immigration and stuff, and you know, the city on a hill and all that stuff, like I could see why he was a very positive, forward-thinking Republican. It was like this very clear good versus evil with the Soviet Union. I don't know what he would say today if he knew that we currently have a strange relationship with the former Soviet Union. Sometimes I feel like we treat Russia better than like Denmark and Canada and France and Germany, which is just bizarre. But I don't want to rant about Trump forever. It will just take a lot of energy. Okay, Peter Hartman, I would have preferred an unedited view. Was anything interesting cut out or just the boring bits? It was just the ums and the ahs, and we were on Zoom and there was some delay. So, and as you guys know from my other videos, I try and make it really snappy. I think that's just my style. I prefer it when I watched his interview. I felt like I could consume more, but I also understand why people would want like the long form version. That's just not my preference, and I guess. But I'll, you know, what I could do maybe in the future is if I'm interviewing someone, maybe do fewer jump cuts. So that could be a compromise. Do you think Yang would pick Gabbard for VP? I feel like that would be an outstanding ticket. Well, I think this is like the cryptocurrency. I'm not saying Gabbard is the crypto running mate, but I will say that oh, my wife is calling me on a live stream. This is funny. I'm just going to reject that call, but I may have to answer if she calls again because I had 2 rejections already. Yeah, and I don't want to really make her angry. Okay. So I personally don't think Yang would pick Gabbard for VP. Now, on the one hand, oh, it's the 3rd time. Hold on one second. Hey, I'm on a live stream with the Nerds for Yang Nation. Is there an emergency? I ordered pizza. All right, pepperoni. Bye. This is clearly this is not an organized live stream. So yeah, for Gabbard, I mean, on the one hand, it would be cool because she's a female, a veteran, minority. I love how calm she is and how centered she is. It's the opposite of Gillibrand. Like Gillibrand made me kind of like, ooh, nervous. But Gabbard like has this like very calm like presence. But I think that would be like a risky ticket because then you basically have a complete outsider in Yang, and then you'd have a pretty junior congresswoman. And then people, I don't know, for whatever reason, were really concerned about, oh, yeah, she said some stuff about gay rights in the past. Although you could argue in the general that wouldn't be as big of an issue. So, Joe, I don't think that Gabbard would be picked, but you know what? Maybe they get along and maybe Yang goes with his gut. Remember when John McCain, they were saying he was going to pick Lieberman as his vice president? I wish he had. I didn't think his other choice was as good. Anyway, Can you Skype into Problem Solver Politics? That would be awesome. My two favorite. Yeah, man. I don't know the guys at so Man the Dan, Dan the Man the Dan. I don't know the guys at Problem Solver Politics, but yeah, we should do more. Like I think I'm gonna do a collab with Paget. Oh, and maybe we'll do a live stream. That would be even easier. Then we don't have to edit. I wonder if we can do like, yeah, joint live stream. I think you can do that. I have to look that up. So yeah, Problem Solver Politics. I've seen their channel on my feed a bunch of times, watched some of their stuff, like them. So I think part of the challenge with all of this Yang content is, you know, with our day jobs, it's hard to do all this stuff. Let's see. Ask Yang what pizza he prefers. L Bogart. Yeah. I would imagine he would say like, "Hey, I'll eat anything, brother. Just don't put any pineapples or bullshit." Okay, let's see. Yang Williamson? I don't know. Williamson, I like her. I think it's just the ticket feels too out there. I kind of feel like Yang would need to pick someone safer to put people at ease who are like, whoa, Yang. Who would be a safe running mate for Yang? Hmm. Harris, maybe, but I'm not a huge fan of hers. Warren, actually, Warren could be a good running mate. She's super smart, but I don't know. Wonder if Middle America would be down with the Yang Warren ticket. We'll have to think about this one. Let's see, scrolling down. Would you still prefer Arian Saini, would you still prefer a $500 amount UBI like you did earlier in the year? Oh, me, yeah. So I'm not saying I prefer a $500 UBI personally. Of course, I want the $1,000 UBI. I'm just saying, in terms of getting something through Congress, I think we may have to negotiate. I mean, even if it were 500, like that would be historic. The first country to have a nationwide universal basic income. And then, speaking to my conservative kind of fiscal conservative roots, I would love if the deficit and debt were a little more under control. And I worry, I understand that we can afford $1,000 a month, but that is over time. There's a lot of growth assumptions in there. And, you know, kind of the conservative me would like to just pay for it completely with the VAT and the carbon tax and the financial transaction tax so that you could balance the budget. But I'm gonna be a little fiscally conservative that way. Let's see. A lot of people saying hello, hello, nerds. Let's see. There's a lot of comments here. Oh, Venezuela has a UBI. Well, I guess they have other problems. They got a lot of problems. So I don't think UBI is going to solve everything for them. Let's see. Andrew should clone himself and make his clone his running mate. I told you not to touch it. Yeah, I will say, after interviewing him and spending a little bit of time like kind of live with him, I will say he's like the real deal, because I really was not sure how that interview would come out. And he was super, like, he's just very comfortable in his own skin. And you know, in a way, I'm not sure Trump is super comfortable in his own skin. I think Trump is still trying to get acceptance. I actually had lunch maybe a couple months ago in New York with some folks in the real estate business, pretty large real estate investors in Manhattan. And they were not pro-Trump, but I could also see that their disdain for him, or the sense that they didn't really respect him, I could see that like really gnawing at a person. And I could see how that could like kind of make Trump always want like acceptance and approval, and make him do some crazy stuff. Anyway, oh, yesterday, do you think that Yang should change his interviews? His talking points seem not as flexible during his Chris Cuomo. I didn't see the Chris Cuomo interview yesterday. I'll check it out. I love Chris Cuomo's interview with the Trump campaign spokesperson. Oh my God. But I will say it's possible, like Yang has dialed in his talking points, which I think served him well in the CNN debate. And I think, look, we're still number 6 and we need to be number 1. So I'm not, I don't think we can take the third debate for granted. And we don't want another NBC debate. We want another one like CNN. And that one, he was really prepared. Now, if a perfect world, could it be a little more flexible in his interviews? Yeah, I thought he was great in the Nerds for Yang interview, but maybe he kind of let loose a little because he knew we were friendlies. Although I didn't hold back on the questions. I thought the Crimea, Hong Kong leadership principles, like I'm not sure that Trump would have nailed those, and Beto, like I don't think he would have done a great job. I will say, I bet Mayor Pete can do a good interview. Anyway, let's see. Ooh. Philip Gagnon, when will we see strong AI? I don't know, man. I heard it's far out. I'm not sure we want strong AI anytime soon. You guys heard that AI story? I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently like last year, Facebook was doing this experimentation where they had like 2 AI computers communicate with each other, and it was supposed to do a very simple task like, order coffee, and then the other side would accept the order, and then the engineers would monitor it and see like how successful it was. And then I guess what happened was the 2 computers started to communicate with each other in a way that the engineers weren't able to discern. Like, and so they came up with a new way of counting. So instead of they saying, "Give me 3 coffees," they would say, "Coffee, coffee, coffee." But then they started communicating, and it didn't make any sense. But they seemed to know what they were saying to each other. So I believe they shut that program down. I don't know. We'll see. It has this like kind of Jurassic Park feel. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna have to jump soon, guys, because the pizza is coming, and my wife just got home, and she's probably gonna say like, "Hey, you didn't say you were gonna do a live stream. When are you gonna help with the kids?" And it is Friday here in Switzerland, Friday night, so she does have a point, and especially if the pizza's here. All right, let's see. Let's see any other questions or comments. Jack D says Problem Solver Politics wants to have you on. All right. I'll try and find them on Twitter and reach out to them, and we can set something up. I think it'd be fun. The only thing is I need to be over internet because I live in Switzerland. I'm in California for work a lot, but probably be easiest to do it over Skype or something. Enjoy your pizza pepperoni. I know pepperoni is the way to go. Here's a funny thing. In Switzerland, they call pepperoni like salami. I don't know why, but they do. It's sort of like the quarter pounder is the Royale. It's very strange. How is Swiss pizza? It's all right. I grew up in New Jersey. I prefer New York pizza to Swiss pizza, but the pizza in Italy is like next level. It's like really fluffy and chewy and thin at the same time, and you can just eat like 10 slices. Um, all right, I think I will. Oh, are you a Golden State Warriors fan? No, I have to go to California for work. But I'm not like a San Francisco sports fan. I am a Seahawks fan because I lived in Seattle for 15 years and I like underdog teams. And the Golden State Warriors seem like not underdogs at all. Do you think Trump will ask to see Yang's birth certificate? Probably. Probably. Such a pleasant man, this Trump. I would like to see Trump's tax returns, and I would like to see his transcripts and his SAT scores because he said he's such a genius. I just heard that Trump is banning Chinese food in the US. What do you think? Well, in many ways, we have already banned Chinese food in the US because the Chinese food in the US is really kind of like a different type of Chinese food. It's more like the American version of Chinese food, which I happen to enjoy both, being born in America but having Chinese ethnic parents. And I would say that I do like a good beef with broccoli. I'm not ashamed to say. I know my dad would always say like, "What? That's not really Chinese food, but that's good." Are you ever in the Netherlands? Sometimes for work, if there's like a industry event or something. But I will say my neighbors are Dutch, and my kids play with the little Dutch boys, and they run around in the forest and they have a good life. Yang running mate Stacey Abrams. Oh, Bridget Hadley. Yeah, Stacey Abrams. That is good. I mean, Stacey Abrams, frankly, may be everybody's running mate. She's like won the VP primary. She's smart. She's like, I'm not going to run for president. I was going to take the number 2 spot automatically. Are you ever in Canada? I was in Toronto this summer and Vancouver. Had real Chinese food in Toronto and had some amazing Japanese food, some ramen in Vancouver. Are you voting through Democrats abroad for the primaries? Oh, I need to look into that. Last election I voted in the general through an absentee ballot. I would imagine. I wonder if I can do that. I didn't even know there was a Democrats abroad primary. I'm gonna have to look into that. So, thank you for calling that out. The chat moves so fast. I can't call out whoever recommended the Democrats for abroad thing. Abroad. Name is. Thank you. Italian and Mexican food tie for first place. Brandon N. I would say Spanish food, especially jamon, this Spanish ham made from these black pigs that are only fed acorns, is freaking a religious experience. It makes like prosciutto look like a little piece of poo-poo. Oh, Tenchi Chrono is writing in Chinese. I can see like a couple of characters. I see ni. I think there are plenty of kids in school now who have better Chinese than me. But thank you for stopping by. One of my concerns is that Trump will make Yang as some Chinese spy to his racist base. That is possible. Hopefully, his base will see through that, and if they get to know Andrew, I think they will realize like, hey, he's a good dude. But I agree, there could be some some potential racism there. But you know what? Obama got elected, so I guess I'd be curious. Like, do you think Yang will encounter more resistance as an Asian American than Obama did as an African American? Maybe. I don't know. All right. I think Andrew should slap Trump's face with his birth certificate. Oh, shoot. Yeah, you guys are good. All right. It's Friday. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Daisy, say goodbye. Day Day, sit. Sit if you love Andrew Yang. Yeah. You're a little nerd for Yang. Yes, you are. Mwah. Okay. A little too much. A little too much. I didn't think she was going to kiss back. That was a little nasty. But she's a good dog. All right, guys. I'll see you guys again. Thank you for the impromptu live stream. This was kind of cool. And I'm editing the Steve Marchand interview now. And hopefully that will be up next week. And you guys keep it real. Nerd power. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? Is this the claw? Do you guys like the claw as the sign? The fucking Amazon claw. All right. Nerd power with the claw. Keep it real.